Nice forecast there. We
Good.
appreciate that.
You know, he was hard on himself on that forecast a little bit.
He was. Aaron, you did a great job.
I think
Aaron,
he did a great job.
He
ran out. He just ran out. Those gold shoes taking him quickly.
Yep.
All right, as the weather in Kern County cools, Famoso Raceway is heating up.
You didn't think that was coming, but
I did.
I liked it. I liked it. You were like, wait a second, wait a moment. As the weather in Kern County cools, Raceway, Josh Helmuth is at the Famosa, and I'll admit, one of the things that I did last year is I called it Mimosa one day.
You did?
Let you know where my mind was. And I was like, Josh is live at Famoso Raceway. I was like, Famoso Raceway.
Was it a Friday?
It might have been a Monday, but I don't know. Josh, good morning. What's going on?
Over here, you done talking about mimosas this morning? It's not the weekend yet, Rob. Come on.
I know it. I know it. Soon enough.
Well, hey guys, you've heard of Mr. T, I'm sure, but here at the Famoso Raceway this weekend, it's all about Mr. C. Right? The Mr. C Roadster team over here. Guys, I want you to fill us in on this Roadster. I had no idea these have been around since the 1960s. It's a pretty cool backstory. Gary Cochran, am I pronouncing his last name right? Okay, Cochran owned this car years ago. You tracked it down, rebuilt it for him. Now you're showing it here this weekend. But there's a difference. It kind of looks like a funny car. There's a little bit of a difference. I said off camera, Robert, I want you to walk us through what this car is all about. Pretend like we're a bunch of 5-year-olds and you're teaching us about funny cars or Roadsters for the first time.
Okay, so what we have is basically just a AA competition roadster that used to run back in the 60s. It's a fiberglass body. It's got magnesium rear wheels. It's got a supercharged, basically a blown 427 Ford motor, and we have a very small fuel tank, just enough fuel to run down the quarter mile. It's about a 5-gallon tank. And
how much horsepower and how much torque are we talking?
We are talking gobs of horsepower and torque. It's about 2,000 horsepower, and the torque is. We don't even know what the torque numbers are.
And you got, it's funny because you guys, you know, tracked this down, rebuilt it for Mr. C, for Gary here.
Well, yeah.
But yet you don't drive it. You don't actually race it, do you?
No, we don't race it. It doesn't follow the current rules for dragster chassis. So right now, this was legal back in the 60s, and it's extremely unsafe now compared to what we do have for current cars. So the guys that were driving the cars back then had some guts.
So it's really just a way to show it off, have people all at it, and it'll be part of the cackle on Saturday night.
It'll be part of the Cackle Fest. We do the push start coming down the return road here and come out onto the track into the center. And this is just the historical vehicles what brought the sport to where it is now. And this car is very rare, and it was just a neat piece back in Lions Drag Strip. We used to run every Saturday night. And just real historian of the sport.
It's a beautiful car. I love the color. This is actually my favorite color. I think it might bring up my eyes. Larry Fisher over here with NHRA. Larry, for those who are unfamiliar, this will be part of the cackle. I was unfamiliar with what a cackle was, other than like a really annoying laugh, you know, that
it's actually
similar
the
to
other way around. It's you've never seen anything like it. We'll have over 75 cars, all like this, vintage race cars. They'll all parade out onto the track running on nitro. There's flames coming out of the pipes. And
when you have 75 cars running at the same time with nitro, it's one huge cackle.
Yeah, I suppose people will hear it downtown Bakersfield if they listen for it. But
are you serious?
We get the entire...
Did everybody have earplugs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And that's on Saturday night. But we start today, 8 o'clock this morning. We start running cars. We'll be racing all day.
Now, I was told that last year there were about 70,000 people out here. It's a huge event. It's one of the biggest events for NHRA.
It is. It's a unique event. The Hot Rod Reunion benefits the NHRA Motorsports Museum, so all the proceeds from this keep the museum alive. And it's a way of keeping the history alive by actually running the cars. What other museums and collectors of antique cars do you know that actually go out and start them up, run them down a track?
Now, how much are tickets, and do you recommend people getting here early because it could sell out?
Get here early because you want a great seat, number one. Tickets are $25 a day at the gate, and we've got just a ton of stuff going on. Besides the cars racing today, we also have cars on show throughout the grounds, hot rods, hundreds of hot rods, vendors with stuff. If you want to get into this hobby, here's the place to do it. You can buy a complete car here today if you wanted to.
Guys, little did I know, and maybe some other people out there don't know as well, but we're out here in the middle of a field in North Kern County, and it's one of the most prestigious events in NHRA. Literally 70,000 people were here estimated last year. They had to turn people away towards the middle of the weekend. So don't be one of those people. Come out here, have a blast. The weather looks great right now, and it all starts later this morning, guys. We'll be with Team Mr. C coming up in the next block as well. They might fire it up for us, I've been told. So you want to stick around for that, guys. Back to you.
All right.
Guys, I tell you what, you're in for a real treat.
It'd be
It's
funny
a
if you
little
had
chilly.
them
It's a little chilly this morning, a little cool, but it's about to get really hot out here. They're about to get a wake-up call out here at Famoso. There's a lot of people already out here that've been arriving for days. Now we have the Mr. C Fuel Roadster team out here with us. We have Robert, we have Steve, we have Matt, and they're going to fire this 50s Roadster up for us this morning. But it's a process. Fill us in. First of all, tell us why Robert has to wear what he's wearing just to start the thing.
Yeah, he's got to wear a fire retardant jacket and mask, and it has the breathers in the mask to help you with the fumes. This is nitromethane and alcohol mix, and it is pretty violent and potent. And otherwise it can make your eyes water, your throat burn, and it gets pretty nasty. So we're going to fire this thing up. This thing burns about 5 gallons in like 4 minutes, and it's about $18 a gallon.
Now what is this line that you have connected to it? What have you prepped to get to fire this thing up?
This is the power coming from the battery. This is basically a newer style helicopter starter, and that's just
helicopter starter,
and that's just some gasoline that we use to get it going until it pulls the nitro from the tank up into the injector.
All right. So I'll let you guys take it away from me. They're going to let it run for a little bit. All right. Get ready. I'm going to stand at a safe distance and close my ears. This is going to be like a bomb going off inside this engine. This thing has over 2,000 horsepower, and like Steve just said, it gets very violent. They want to make sure they're very safe. Oh yeah! Wow! Wake up, Famoso! Wow! Holy cow! I still have my eardrums. I was closing my ears right there. What just happened? What happened in that engine right now?
That is pure fury right there is what that is.
It smells like the 4th of July.
That's basically a controlled explosion is what is happening in the cylinders of that motor. So yeah, that's about 2,000 horsepower.
Guys, this is actually not even legal to race by safety standards. It's a retro car from the 1950s. They pretty much bring it to show it off. It's like a iconic car. I'm just speechless right now. My heart's still racing. I wasn't even inside the thing like Robert was. The races, the time trials start today. This car is actually part of the Cackle. Imagine 75 of these going off at the exact same time. That's what they're doing Saturday night. Come out all weekend long, $25 a person here at Famoso. And last year, nearly 70,000 people showed up. They had to turn people away eventually. So if you want to make it out, try to come here early. Guys, I'm tossing back to you. We're going to show you another car coming up in the next hour. I'm going to wait for my adrenaline to calm down a little bit.
Josh, did you say 2,000 horsepower?
Yeah, the funny cars of today, they're called the more extended, faster cars. They're called funny cars. It kind of looks like a funny car, but it's smaller, but it's just called a roadster. Those funny cars have up to 10,000 horsepower.
Wow.
What?
It's insane. You have to be a special breed of just crazy to drive one of these things.
Wow, absolutely. Flames shooting out the side and
Yeah,
everything.
my goodness.
Oh, wow, Josh. That's pretty cool. Thanks for showing us that.
Morning. Celebrating his 30th on a Friday, Josh. Good morrow.
Ah, be quiet. Be quiet. You're killing me. You're killing me, Rob. Dang, man. You know, it's like the movie Frozen. Just let it go. All right, just let it go.
He just said, "Dang, man." I've never heard Josh say that.
He's so bashful. You know?
I love it. I love it. No, it's okay. It's all in fun. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rob. But you guys want to know how big of a deal this NHRA race, this show, this reunion out here is this weekend. They've been doing it for nearly 60 years now out here. It's such a big deal. People come from all over the country. We have Al and his brother right here. Guys, They came all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. And they have this beautiful car they're showing off. You restored this car. It took you 18 months to do. Fill us in on what this beautiful piece of art is.
This is a 1971 SPE top fuel dragster. It's one of 12 that were ever built, and it's the only survivor as of this day.
And by today's standards, you can't race it because it's not the safety mechanisms aren't in place, right? But this is exactly to a T how it would have been back in the 70s.
This car would have rolled out on this starting line and ran 254 miles an hour just the way it sits.
Unbelievable.
Everything in this car is identical to what Gary built originally.
How much horsepower?
This one I would say generates 4,000 to 5,000.
And cost-wise, you say by today's standards, if you want to build a car today, you say you better have like $5 million.
If you want to race top fuel dragster today, you better have $5 million.
Unbelievable.
And
so,
then you'll make $1 million because that's all you're going to have left.
Wow. Well, tell me what's your inspiration for building it and bringing it all the way out to California? This reunion's a big deal, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is the mecca of drag racing. If you don't come here, you miss the life.
Wow.
It's a thing that you do it for love. That's all I can say. It's from John Ewald's own mouth. You do it for the love. And that's all. It's not money.
What's probably your, just really quick in a few more seconds, what's probably your favorite thing about this car? What's maybe the biggest compliments you remember getting?
When Gary Cochran stepped in and cried.
Really? The original driver of this car?
The original owner and driver last year drove both cars in this meet, one in the front and one in the back. And he cried.
Is this going to be part of the cackle on Saturday?
Absolutely.
Come out for the cackle, guys. Just one of the reunion parts of the show. They bring out 75 of these cars, fire them up at the same time, and you can imagine how loud it gets if you saw them fire up this 1950s Roadster right here just a few minutes ago. Guys, it was crazy. But the show all starts today. They're going to start drag racing. The time trial start later on this morning. Lasts all weekend long, $25 to get in. Guys, I was told that an estimated 70,000 people came out last year. Firemen actually had to come in and start telling them to stop letting people in. They had to turn people away. There are too many people for the fire code. So if you're going to come out this weekend, make sure you're here early. It's going to be a great time. Al, thank you very much. It's a beautiful car. We hope to see you out here this weekend. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Josh, for being out there this morning. What a cool story about that guy crying when he got into his original car.